You clicked on this video because maybe, like me, you've hit a point in life where the days feel quiet, maybe too quiet. I'm 67 years old, and not too long ago, I found myself sitting at the kitchen table one morning, staring into my coffee, thinking, is this it? I wasn't unhappy, I wasn't sick, but I wasn't alive either. I had time more than ever before, but I didn't feel like I was living it. There was no spark, no direction. I had gone from chasing the clock to barely noticing it. The truth is, after retirement or after the kids are grown, no one really tells you how to navigate the stillness. And while peace and rest are beautiful things, too much of it can make you feel invisible. I didn't want a dramatic transformation. I wasn't looking to start over. I just wanted to feel like myself again. So I made a deal with myself. Try 7 small habits. No pressure, no expectations. Just see what happens. And over one single week, everything changed. Not in a flashy Instagram way, but in the quiet, meaningful way that actually lasts. This video is not clickbait. These aren't trendy tips from a 20-year-old influencer. These are grounded, doable habits, ones that help me feel connected, calm, and alive again at 67. So stay with me, because by the end of this video, I think you'll feel something shift too. And I'll tell you which habit cracked something wide open in me in a way I never saw coming. Let me ask you something. Have you ever had a day where you woke up, moved through your routine, maybe watched a bit of television, had lunch, took a nap, and then suddenly it was evening, and you had no idea where the day went? That was happening to me more and more. And it wasn't because I was lazy or depressed. I just didn't have any structure anymore. No appointments to get to, no job pulling me out the door. The rhythm of my days had quietly unraveled, and without realizing it, I had too. That's when I tried the first 2 habits. They weren't groundbreaking, but they gave me back something I didn't even realize I was missing: a sense of rhythm and ownership over my day. Habit 1, a gentle morning ritual. I used to think the best part of retirement was not having to wake up to an alarm clock. And for a while it was. Sleeping in felt like a small act of rebellion against decades of early mornings. But then I started to feel aimless. I'd get up whenever, pour coffee, and scroll through the news or turn on the TV. I wasn't easing into the day, I was falling into it. So I made one small change. I started waking up just 30 minutes earlier than usual. Now I know that doesn't sound like much, but those 30 minutes became my time. I made a warm drink, sat by the window, and just existed for a while. No phone, no screens, just me, the light coming through the blinds and the quiet sounds of morning. Some days I stretched a little, some days I prayed or reflected. One morning I watched the sunrise and it actually made me tear up. I hadn't done that in years. That gentle ritual gave me something I didn't realize I was craving: intention. Instead of reacting to the day, I was greeting it. And that one shift changed everything that followed. Habit 2, move your body however you can. The second habit was simple too. I promised myself I would move my body every day, just for 10 minutes. That's it. No gym memberships, no fancy routines, just movement. Some days it was a slow walk. Other days I danced in the kitchen while waiting for the kettle to boil. One morning I marched in place while watching the birds in the yard. The first few days my joints creaked like an old wooden floor. But then I started to feel a little looser. I had more energy. My sleep got better, and I caught myself smiling for no reason. I wasn't trying to lose weight or impress anyone. I just wanted to feel present in my body again, and I did. These 2 habits didn't take much time, but they gave me back the anchor I had been missing. They turned a blurry day into a meaningful one, and that made all the difference. Now here's something I didn't see coming. Even though I was home a lot, I didn't think I was lonely. I still talked to people. I waved to neighbors. I texted my kids now and then. I had the television on most of the day, so I figured, I'm fine, but I wasn't. Not really, because even surrounded by noise, I felt invisible. Like the world was still spinning, but I wasn't part of it anymore. I didn't feel seen or useful. And let me tell you, nothing will drain your spirit faster than feeling like you've been quietly forgotten. That's when I tried the next habit. It was awkward at first. but it ended up being one of the most powerful things I did. Habit 3, one connection a day. I made a rule for myself. Every single day I would connect with one person, just one. That's it. Sometimes it was a phone call, sometimes it was a text. One day I wrote a letter. Another day I invited a neighbor over for coffee, someone I had lived next to for 3 years but barely knew. These weren't deep, emotional conversations. Some were just small check-ins. But they reminded me that I still mattered, that I could still give something to someone else, even if it was just 5 minutes of my time or a shared laugh about something silly. One of the best surprises came on day 4. I reached out to an old friend I hadn't spoken to in over a decade. I don't even remember why we lost touch, but I sent a message. She called back. And now, we talk once a week. Sometimes we just need a little nudge to remember how much connection can lift our spirit. Habit 4, feed your brain. The fourth habit was about something I had completely neglected, my brain. Now, I'm not saying I was sitting in a rocking chair drooling. I still read the paper and kept up with things, but I wasn't learning anymore. I wasn't feeding that part of me that used to be curious. So I decided to spend at least 10 minutes a day learning something new. One day I watched a short documentary about how honeybees communicate. The next I read about the history of blues music. I even tried to learn a few phrases in Italian just for fun. What shocked me was how quickly my brain woke up. I started noticing things more. I had better conversations. I remembered people's names more easily. It was like clearing the cobwebs off a part of myself I hadn't realized was gathering dust. And more than that, it gave me a sense of growth. Because even at 67, I realized, I'm not done learning. I'm not done connecting. I just needed to remember how. Now, if the first few habits gave me energy and connection, these last 3 brought me something I didn't even know I needed. Peace. And not the kind of peace that comes from taking a nap or going on vacation. I mean real internal quiet, the kind that helps you breathe a little deeper and stop clenching your shoulders all day without realizing it. Before this week of habits, I didn't think I was particularly stressed, but I was constantly distracted. My mind always felt like it was buzzing, not loud, just restless. And that's what led me to the next habit. Habit 5, quiet time without screens. Let me tell you, this one was harder than I thought. I promised myself I'd spend 1 full hour every day without screens. No television, no phone, no computer, just me and the silence. At first, I had no idea what to do with myself. I walked around the house like I'd lost something. I sat down, I got up. I reached for my phone out of habit at least 10 times in those first few minutes. But eventually, something shifted. One afternoon, I sat on the porch with a cup of tea and just watched. The wind moving through the trees, the way the sunlight played on the fence. I didn't do anything. I just existed, and it felt amazing. My mind started to settle. I started noticing things again. Little things I had stopped paying attention to. The warmth of the mug in my hands, the chirping of birds, the way my breath slowed down when I wasn't filling every second with noise. That 1 hour became something I started to look forward to. It didn't feel empty. It felt full of peace, of clarity, of presence. Habit 6, writing it down. The next habit was journaling. Now, before you roll your eyes, hear me out. I didn't sit down to write a novel. I wasn't trying to be poetic or profound. I just opened a notebook each night and wrote down whatever was on my mind. Some nights it was a memory. Other nights it was a frustration or a worry I needed to let go of. But every night I wrote 3 things I was grateful for, no matter how small. One night it was a warm blanket. Another night it was the smile from the woman at the grocery store. One time it was simply the fact that my knees didn't hurt that day. Those entries became my quiet therapy, and looking back on them, it reminded me how much joy lives in the smallest parts of life. Habit 7, end-of-day reflection. This final habit was the one that changed me the most. Every night before I turned off the light, I asked myself 3 questions. What did I enjoy today? What do I want more of tomorrow? Did I love someone well today, including myself? Those 3 questions softened my entire mindset. They helped me let go of what didn't matter and focus on what did. They reminded me that even on the most ordinary days, there was something worth remembering, and that was enough. These 7 tiny habits didn't make me younger. They didn't erase every ache or solve every problem. But they did bring me back to life. I feel calmer, clearer, more connected to myself and to the world around me. I feel like I'm living again, not just passing time. So if you're watching this and wondering if it's too late to change, let me tell you right now, it's not. You don't need a total reinvention. Sometimes all it takes is one small shift, one tiny habit to change how the whole day feels. If this video spoke to you, I've put together a playlist filled with more tips, stories, and gentle reminders, just like this one. Things to help you feel strong, inspired, and fully alive in this season of life. So go ahead and click on that playlist next. It's all there waiting for you. And hey, thank you. Truly. Thank you for spending your time with me today. I'm really glad you're here. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.